Wyclef Jean, BKS1 Radio. Let's go.
This is Essence Atkins, and this is BKS1 Radio.
Hi, this is Melba Moore, and you're listening to BKS1 Radio.
Yo, check it out. What's the deal? This the chef. Giving a big shout out to my peoples. Big KS, you already know what it is. Salute.
What's up? It's your girl Monifa, and I'm hanging with BKS1 Radio.
Hi, I'm Iyanla Van Zandt, and you're listening to BKS1 Radio.
BKS Radio, baby.
Hey, this is Jasmine Guy for BKS1 Radio.
What's going on? This is Lamont Rooker, and this is BKS1 Radio.
Shout out to BKS1, the best kept damn secret in the business.
Hey, what's up? This is Raven Goodwin from BET's Being Mary Jane, and shout out to BKS1.
Hi, this is Leon. You're watching BKS1 Radio.
BKS1. God bless y'all.
Hello, and welcome to BKS1 Radio, the Our Show. It is your girl, Latoya Chanel, and of course, I'm here with my bestie, Miss Queen B, and we are in the building. I like this. I don't even know what this is, but I like it. It's cute.
You don't see the...
I see that. That's cute. Yeah, okay. I like that. Okay. In the meantime...
Thank you.
We are back. We are back for another installment of Sextober. And we are back with Miss Janelle Watson, who is here all the way from LA virtually. And we are going to get right into our topic of discussion after. Queen B, how you doing today?
I'm good. I'm great. I just want to give just due to, we just finished the film fest this weekend. Shout out to Lamar and the Queen City Film Festival. It was excellent. We had some stars. We had some stars. Some great films you could talk about.
Yeah. So shout out to, I'm on the board, everybody. I'm on the board for Queen City Film Festival. We just had a 4-day film festival this weekend, of which we kicked off the film festival with our live Our Show event that was standing room only.
Yes.
And it was an awesome event. The topic of conversation was Black love in the entertainment industry and being a creative. How do you balance your love and family life with being a creative and all the demands and people pulling on you and all the stuff? And it was a great discussion. We had celebrity couple Michelle and Tobias Trevelyan. You've seen them all over, no matter if you recognize them or not. And then we had a bunch of celebrities in the building. We had Marcus Taylor, who was in the building. He was Suge Knight and Straight Outta Compton. He's been with his beautiful wife for the last 23 years. Right. We had a bunch of filmmakers, horror filmmakers and directors and producers of Blue Bloods and Tales and BET and ABC and all the people that were in the building. And they talked candidly about what they do in this entertainment industry and being in relationships, and some of us being single.
Right.
And that was me, y'all. And and shout out to some of my friends as well who were in the building who were also single, and we were trying to navigate this space right now with being a creative and meeting new people and what that's like. So it was a really, really good discussion. We kicked it off. The next night, we were proud to be in the building as Naturi Naughton from Power and all the other things that she's been in, 3LW and all the things, received the Vanguard Award for our film festival. She was amazing. Both of us got to talk to her and tell her some funny stories about the last time that we were around her and shared some stories. She was amazing. Giveon, what was the actor's name? Giveon Vyad. Also an actor from Power and a few other series, and he's on Sisters. Also received an award that night as well. So we had a great time. It was a gala. It was a beautiful event. That was Friday night. Saturday we were in the theater all day just watching all of the movies, and Sunday was the awards ceremony and artist development and a bunch of panels on producing, directing, and all of the things. So 4-day festival all day long. Shout out to the team. Shout out to Lamar and Allie and everybody. Still recovering. I should have took off of work yesterday. Why did I do a 4-day festival and then go right back into my regular job on Monday? That was a lot. I'm taking off this week. Do y'all hear me? If my VP is watching.
They're probably watching.
Yeah, if my VP is watching, maybe Friday I'm taking off. But yes, so It was a blessing. We did some more stuff this weekend. We got some shoots in. We got some things coming up for the show here. So yeah. Thank you to everybody that came out to our live event. It was amazing. Everything was perfect. I don't have any. Everything was perfect. I think it was amazing event.
I think
so yeah. So that was it. That was for the weekend. And you said you're good today.
I'm good today. I have nothing. I really have nothing. I'm ready to get into this topic.
I'm ready to get into this topic too because we got a hard stop. So we're gonna just start. We just gonna go down. Please help us. Welcome to the virtual studio, all the way from LA. Therapist Janelle Watson, everybody. All right. How are you today?
I'm good. The sun is out. Feeling good. Okay. It's earlier here than it is there, so I still have some daylight left.
Okay. Question for you. Are you ready for tonight's show?
I think I'm ready.
All right.
I think so.
We're going to get into it.
I think so.
We're going to get into it. I got some questions from some people. People have been giving me questions all day long today. So, nice. You know what, McQueen B, you go ahead and you get started first on your...
No, ask your question first, and I promise. I promise. I'm just sharing stuff, guys.
Okay. How technical can we get with you? Because this may be a doctor type question.
Doctor?
You know what? I'll let you know. And that's usually how I say it. Like, ask me, and if I don't know, I will definitely tell you if I don't know, or if it's outside of my wheelhouse. I have no shame. Yeah. No.
I had a woman today ask me to ask you, what is that feeling she feels like when she's having sex with her husband? Oh. That penetration feels like hitting a balloon over and over and over again, and then eventually it pops. Listen, I
feels like hitting a balloon over and over, and eventually it pops.
And then it pops.
She need to go see the doctor.
Now, what she said was, she's gotten questions like, "Is it your bladder?" And she's like, "No, I empty my bladder before having sex." So, what is that feeling that feels like hitting something, and then that popping sensation?
Yeah, that I would definitely recommend that she talk to somebody who could be maybe a little bit more hands-on. Okay. If not her OB, maybe a pelvic floor therapist. We love pelvic floor therapists. They are amazing when it comes to issues concerning women's health below the belt. That would probably be a better question for somebody who could then ask follow-up questions about, well, when are you feeling it? How long? What's the severity, what's the intensity, that kind of a thing. I have no idea what that would be. I mean, it could be vaginal dryness that you're feeling that feels like a balloon rubbing up against something. Okay. It could be your cervix. It could be an orgasm. Maybe you've never felt one before. I don't know. So I would just have more questions.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I have another question for a gentleman that says, is having a roster normal in dating?
Like a roster of people that you are dating?
Yes, that you're dating. Yes.
You know, it's normal if it's normal for you. And what I mean by that is, you know, there are some people who really enjoy the variety of seeing multiple people because they bring different things to either the conversation or their situation, right? And then there are other folks who are like, I can barely keep my own schedule straight. I'm certainly not going to be able to keep straight a bunch of people that I'm dating at the same time.
Right.
So whatever makes sense for you, my encouragement would be more so about being honest and open and transparent about whatever that is.
Yeah.
So if we're talking about a roster, but let's say, you know, this person's not having sex with any of these people,
right?
How much do I have to tell you? I don't know. Now, if there is sex involved, then that's where we got to get a little bit more communicative. And we got to put our big girl pants on and say, look, this is what's going on because I want to make sure that I'm safe. I want to make sure that you're being safe. But beyond that, I mean, have a roster or not, just be able to maintain it if you do have one.
Be able to maintain it, and like you said, be honest. Because the fact of the matter is that if you're dating with a purpose, right? and if you're dating in you're being, what's the word I'm looking for? Intentional, right? You're being intentional about dating because there's a purpose, there's a reason, you're trying to get to an end result. I see nothing wrong. Well, I see nothing wrong with being honest at any time, but I see nothing wrong with, hey, I'm vetting out this person, and this person to see who's a match for me. I don't necessarily have to. I'm sorry, we're getting questions in the chat and they are hilarious right now. I don't necessarily have to sleep with everybody, but I'm vetting people out. Like you said, if it's for you and if you can maintain it and manage that kind of schedule, then yes.
Yes, it would be best if the two of you were on the same page. So, for example, if this person wants to date because I'm dating to get married, I'm dating to be in a serious relationship, you probably are not going to be a good match with the roster person. Because they might not be in that place. So, neither one of you is doing it right or wrong. You just got to make sure that you're linked up appropriately.
Understood. We have another gentleman that says, is it crazy that I get turned on in a car wash?
Okay, and when I laugh, I'm not laughing at the person or the question. I'm laughing because I love how honest and open people are being about the stuff that they're curious about. That is what the laughter is on. It's not laughing at that person. I mean, again, it would probably inspire more questions if they're trying to figure out what it is about car washes that's turning them on. Because it could be a variety of things, not least of which might just be the sound. Because that's a lot of water, there's a lot of squishing noises. That might be something that reminds you of what sex might sound like. Kind of like the whole macaroni and hot thing. You know, so if they're curious about it, then maybe looking at, well, what is it about the car wash that is turning? Is it the darkness? Is it the secluded space? Is it, you know, that I could technically do whatever I want in these 2.5 minutes and nobody's around, but technically it's in public? I don't know. By the way, they do have cameras in those, so people
you might
who
want to
do
be careful.
get a little, you know, free. It's not free. There are cameras in those car washes, so just keep that in mind.
People do not have sex in the car washes. There are cameras in there. I was going to wait. You said go through my questions. You said go through my questions.
This is getting wild. No,
now it's too wild.
I wanted to.
Wait. He said it's the soap and the blower.
Okay.
It's the soap and the blower.
It's the soap and the blower that turns them on.
All right, back to me.
Okay.
I wanted to talk.
Go with it, but be careful because you don't want to get arrested for indecent exposure.
Keep it safe, keep it legal. You know, hey, but if it's the soap and the blower, if you're thinking about trying to duplicate that elsewhere, you could do that.
You can do that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
I want to talk about
what? I'm asking questions from the people. Go ahead. Anybody else have any questions? We have a therapist. She's also a sex therapist. Put your questions in the chat, everybody.
I wanted to talk about the impact that porn has on relationships. I'm going to switch it up a little bit. I wanted to talk about how maybe sometimes too much of it has an impact on relationships and when watching it, the level of expectations that you require from your partner. I just want to
B has an echo? I'm sorry, they're saying you have an echo.
Oh, I don't know.
Hold on. Let me. Okay, say something. Are you still
something?
Or is everybody still hearing an echo? Okay, I guess not. Okay, go ahead.
So, the level of expectations on intimacy, and also the healthy versus problematic.
When talking about porn is such an interesting topic because even things that you would categorize as porn is such a huge category that has a bunch of subcategories underneath it. I'm going to venture a guess that the person who's asking this question, or usually when this question is asked, they're usually talking about mainstream porn. Yes. It's usually obtained from a website for free. and this person might be sneaking off to engage in porn, whether it's just them watching it or them watching it masturbating or what have you. And that the issue that might be coming up is that it's distracting or altering their sexual relationship with their partner. Those are the assumptions that I'm going to go with the question.
You're spot on.
What did you say?
I said you're spot on because I saw a thing this weekend about a guy who she went through his phone, went through the phone of her partner and saw that he was like subscribing to OnlyFans, right? Mm-hmm. And very upset about that. She was very upset and like took a screenshot of all the money that he spent watching.
Oh, you're not going to spend money now. I mean, now, whatever you looking at, that's one thing. You're not spending money on no daggone porn. Mm-hmm. We're not doing I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So I just wanted to talk about sometimes the level of expectations when, the guy is watching porn or whatever like that and he desires whatever from the partner or the vice versa where the woman or, whomever you're with gets upset that you're watching porn so much. How that affects the intimacy.
When we think about the concept of too much porn or watching it so much, that's such a relative term in and of itself too, because somebody might say, well, too much is when it interferes with your life. And I was like, okay, well, what if it doesn't interfere with my life, but I'm watching it, every opportunity that I can. I still go to work. I still engage with my relationships. I'm still an upstanding citizen otherwise, except I also watch porn a lot. One might argue that's not getting in the way of my life at all. Okay. Right? But then you also have, is that something that's getting in the way of your relationship? And when you're asking that question, you really got to ask both people in the relationship, what is your relationship with porn? What is your understanding of porn? What is your understanding of its role? Mm-hmm. How do you utilize it? How have you utilized it before? Are you very judgmental about it and it should not exist and I feel like it's cheating? What are the attitudes and feelings that you already have about it? Because that's going to inform how you're engaging with your partner about the fact that they happen to like it. Okay. So if you're somebody, let's say they're very religious, and they don't believe that that's anything anybody should engage with, I don't care who it is, and it is technically cheating. Well, if you find out that your partner is watching porn, that's gonna render a very different reaction than somebody who's like, it's not for me, I don't really care. I just wish that they wouldn't spend money on it because that's money that can be going toward the household, right? Mm-hmm. These are very different situations that would then have very different conversations around it. One more thing I do want to say, though, about porn and about OnlyFans is because there's so much out there, I am not ready to throw the baby out with the bathwater, so to speak, because I also know how helpful porn has been and can be for people, because there is a lot of content out there that is created beyond this mainstream free porn site. Okay. There are films or how-tos or videos that are made by women directors where people are invested as stakeholders in businesses, where people are not getting taken advantage of. These are not people who are just beyond their 18th birthday, if that. There are people where there are older men and women who are in these films. There are people who have maybe physical disabilities that finally somebody gets to see representation sexually somewhere that they're never going to see elsewhere. So there's just so much out there that serve different purposes. It's too short-sighted to demonize porn or revere porn. Like it's not all one or nothing. It's so much more complicated than that.
Okay. Oh, that was good. Go ahead. The other one I wanted to, because I know we talked about the LGBTQ, and I just don't want to ever forget them when we're talking about certain relationships. So I wanted to know what kind of advice do you give to someone trying to, in a relationship, and they are supporting their partner that is exploring their sexuality or gender identity? What kind of advice do you give to those that need help with understanding and accepting themselves sexually?
Yeah, Which is also a very good question. It's also a very complicated question
It's
because
loaded, yeah.
the way that we understand ourselves and our identities are often, depending on the household we were raised in, depending on the community we were raised in, we may not have ever been given the message that that's something that you can even explore. That you are what you are based on how it was assigned. So when you were born and the doctor saw a penis or the doctor saw a vagina, they said male, they said female, and you were socialized as a girl or a boy.
Right.
And so there's not often a lot of question or a lot of leeway that you get to explore and play around with whether or not your genitals match with how you feel about your expression.
Right.
And so because of that, often you may have people who very late in life are exploring it for the first time. And so when that happens, you also have a lot of people around you who have known you primarily for that presentation. And so when you want to change things in their eyes, it's very jarring. It's out of nowhere. It's whoa, 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 what's going on? Well, knowing that you have to deal with that also feeds into it. And I guess I'm mentioning all of this because the decision to finally come out or to finally express to somebody that you are intimately close with that, hey, I have these questions, the response that they're getting is also contributing to whether or not they're going to feel comfortable continuing to do that. Or if they go, you know what, dang, you really shut that down quickly. Okay, I'm never going to talk about this again, and I'm just going to push it down.
Right.
That impacts people. That impacts their well-being. That impacts their mental health. That impacts the relationships they build and grow or don't. So it can be really difficult for both parties to find that in their relationship. Now I'm dealing with, my partner is not so sure how they are oriented,
right?
What kind of identity they want. I would say my encouragement would be to try and be as patient as possible and try to be as supportive as you have the capacity to be.
Okay.
That said, you don't have to be in that relationship while that person figures it out.
Okay.
That's not a requirement. And that's not you necessarily being weak or giving up. It's just a very different relationship than the one you originally signed up for.
Right.
And that's fair.
Okay.
And that's something that you might need to think about outside of the pressures of trying to keep the relationship going. So it might be better that we're not together as I'm trying to figure that out, or we're not together as you are trying to figure that out.
And I know that happens in heterosexual relationships too. We've seen it play out, in the media as well. Like somebody goes into the marriage as a male and a female, and then they get this, whatever it is. It's the 25, it's the 30, it's the wait a minute, that realization of, you know what, I really don't like the Jenner, Caitlyn Jenner.
Yeah,
came in a man, a heterosexual man with a woman, and then all of a sudden was like, yeah, no, I'm not. I feel like this. So I always, wonder. That never happened to me, of course, but I've seen it happen. We've seen it happen, and I just wanted to know how we support that. And like you said, you don't have to stay in that relationship, but I just wanted to know, what do you do? Because it is rough. It is hard. And I'll say that, I'll give an example of, two women being together, and, the woman is now like, I really tried to be, a woman, but I want to be a male, and I want to start changing things. I want to start, changing my organs and things like that. Sometimes it's difficult. Sometimes because I know for me, if I'm with a female, I'm with a female, and I want my female to be a female. And I don't even know if that's the right term, but a woman. I like women. So I couldn't see me being with somebody like, that kind of woke up in the morning and was like, yeah, I want to be a male now. It's like, no, sorry. We couldn't. That's
right.
me.
Well,
That's
and also keep in mind, like I said earlier, keep in mind that is from that partner's perspective, that all of a sudden they woke up one day and decided yada yada, which makes it feel impulsive, or makes it feel like, did something suddenly happen and this is why we're doing this? Like I'm, and I could see how that can feel very, very innocent. Like I'm just trying to figure it out because it's coming out of nowhere. But for this other person, it's like, I've been feeling like this since I was 6.
A long time.
And I didn't have words to it.
Right.
I didn't have language to give to it. I didn't have the space for it. And I've been trying to muster up the courage to do this and now I said it, and now I'm being asked, am I sure?
Yeah.
And it's like, to me, it's like, how insulting is that for
It is.
somebody to ask you, are you sure about something you've been thinking about your whole life? But again, they don't know that.
Right.
That they don't have the right POV to really know and understand that. So
Yeah.
the other piece of encouragement that I would give is you also have to work out how you feel about all of this and how you feel about these changes that your partner is now going through. Because I totally feel you on this. Like, look, I'm with a woman because I wanted to be with a woman. If I wanted to be with a man, I would be with a man.
Absolutely.
However, that is under the category man and under the category of woman.
Right.
But your person
Mm-hmm.
is that somebody that you could be with even if they are making these transitions. And I think a lot of people have been surprised to learn that the majority, almost everything that they love about that person has very little to do with what's happening between their legs. So it's the thing that I love about you, the reason why we're so connected, all of those things that draw us together. Is genitalia the main thing, or is genitalia the deal breaker of us not being together? For a lot of people, they said, no, that's not a deal breaker. I still want to be with you.
Wow, that's a good.
For some people, it's not. For some people, it's like, absolutely not. This is not what I signed up for. We have to part ways.
Right. Got it. Okay.
I'm going to read some of the comments. Someone said, in a long distance relationship, I think you have to make it work for you and your partner. It can help get through the time apart. I guess she was talking about porn, watching porn. Jesus. Somebody else said, this guy in a wheelchair giving his sex tips pops up on my reels all the time. So I guess when you were talking about porn giving space to people who are looking to figure out how to, she also then said he's fine too. Jesus, Lord help us. The guy in the wheelchair is fine. They call him Wheelchair Poppy, she said. And apparently she's watching that.
Okay.
And so now the next question is, can masturbation cause overstimulation for clitoral muscles? That's the question.
Gotcha. Overstimulation. I would assume, and maybe they'll clarify when I say this, I assume that you're speaking about like using toys and things with
and all of
that require batteries or being plugged in. Because if we're talking about manual masturbation, no, not on your best day would you be able to dead those nerve endings with hands. No, it's just you're not that strong. But no, maybe they are, or they're not doing it as frequent enough to do that. Now, if we're talking about like other tools, if we're talking about dildos or vibrators and magic wand and all these things that have all these turbo, speed and all that kind of stuff. I think there might be something to it with regular use and long stretches, but I think the average amount of usage, I don't think that's something that they would need to necessarily worry about. I don't think that you're going to like break your clit or break your vagina.
And then the follow-up question was, what are some current trends in toys that you're seeing with your clients?
Oh, that's a good question. I would think the newest, because, when I was younger and, watching, like, Sex and the City when I wasn't supposed to, the rabbit was the big thing, right? The rabbit was, like, this amazing, vibrator that had the little ears that, like, would stimulate the clitoris while it was also internal, but it also had the stuff. It was, like, bells and whistles galore. Everything was about the rabbit. I think these days, everything is about the rose.
Yes.
Yeah.
And everybody loving the rose, and the rose has like all these attachments and things like that. I think part of the reason, and don't quote me because
The
what?
The rose has attachments.
Yeah. On the rose, if you have one, there's a little silicone piece that actually comes off. It makes it easier to clean, but there are other companies that make things that you can attach to that piece that, makes it a little bit more dynamic.
See, I said in a discussion once that I don't like toys, and every woman in there was ready to kill me. Because I was like, I don't like toys. Everybody was like,
not everybody likes toys.
Oh my God, really? I was like, I don't like
not
it.
everybody likes
I
toys.
don't.
It's not everybody's bag.
Yeah,
And
it's
also,
not.
I think there are some people who say that they don't like toys who've never used them, and they just don't like the folklore
I didn't
of
say that.
toys.
I
They
didn't
don't
say
like
that
the
part.
But
I'm
don't
just-
we,
the idea of
you know
it.
what?
But
You know what? There's
you
so
know.
many people that don't like masturbating.
Right.
That you know what I mean? Like I've seen that they're like,
Yeah.
nah, I need a real person. I need,
Yeah.
and to me, masturbation is definitely exploring. Like it's your mind. It's
Right.
everything's
Yeah.
in your mind. If you have a vivid
Imagination.
I think
Mhm.
that you can do that. Some people are like, yeah, no, I can't. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
So
I would say so. I don't know that I have like a lot of like, oh, people are talking about this toy, that toy. I will say that when it comes to I guess you could say porn, there is a lot more that's shifted over into literature or literature, as people like to call it.
so
Oh,
funny.
wow.
I like
So
that.
like romantic novels, those kinds of books, but also audio.
Gotcha.
So getting people to read either stories or read scenarios or what would be like a setup for a sex scene, the audio part of it, people are loving it. It is
wow. Never
definitely something that is on the rise, I think.
Audio.
Audio. hmm
Oh, this is like
So no
old school.
visuals,
So we
no,
back
no,
to
you're not watching a
radio
video
in
or
the
anything.
1920s,
It is
huh?
listening to a man in your ear, encouraging you, telling you what to do,
That could be
what have
fun.
you.
Hmm,
Yeah.
That could be fun.
Or a woman. They have
That could be
women
fun.
also.
One more. Proper way to start sex questions in a marriage. What is the proper way to start sex questions in a marriage?
A fun way to do it would be to use a game. There are lots of like little card games or little board games that they have that are a bit spicy, where they'll ask you some questions about, fantasy, or I guess it also would depend on what kind of information are you looking to share, or what kind of information have you been shy to share. A nice DIY would be that the two of you take 10 strips of paper and just ask a question that you would have always wanted to ask your partner.
I like that.
And have the other rule be that whatever question that you ask, you also have to be willing to answer it. And then just throw it in a bowl or something, and y'all just take turns pulling something out and answering it.
I wanted to
like
go
that.
just piggyback off of that, and then I have a different question. But
Mhm.
I will tell you this. So, and we're transparent on the show. I never thought, like growing up as a woman, that you were allowed to ask for sex, right?
Mhm.
I just thought, and I don't know if you've heard that before, but I just thought that the person you were with was totally supposed to be like, hey, and you were supposed to just, open sesame. So I literally, how do you get out of the what would be your advice to getting out of the uncomfortability of sexual conversations or somebody that had an issue asking for sex?
Yeah, the asking for sex part, and I think I may have said this at the end of our last conversation, where if you have a question, if you feel like this is a stuck point for you, to kind of journal it through and ask yourself the questions of like, where do I think I got this from? Who told me? How does this serve me? How does it not serve me to hold on to this belief?
Okay.
You could definitely do that, but you also, if you're in a relationship, can also give it a try / tell your partner about that. And this would heavily depend on how close y'all are. If we're talking about like a casual situation, that may or may not be helpful, or it might be the most helpful if it's somebody you don't know. But just letting them know, like, I would love to be somebody who initiates more, and I have a little trouble with initiating. And so I would love for you to help me with that. And then maybe what that might turn into is during those times where you're given the telltale signs that, I want to get down, but it's all nonverbal, I'm not saying anything. Maybe the partner's job is to try to draw that out of you and go, oh, well, what did you think was going to happen? Is there something that you want to have happen that hasn't happened yet? Or you start doing something, but it's good and well that's not what they're asking you to do because they haven't said anything. So it's like, oh, I'm sorry, did you want my hand somewhere else?
Right.
Did you want, I'm going to need you to, and have them be a part of it to maybe help coax that out of you too. So there are ways that you can be playful about it. They don't all have to be like we're going to sit down and have a serious, sterile conversation about sex. It can all be as playful as you want it to be, because the hope is that the sex is playful too. It's not just serious. It's not just, we're here to handle business and then go our separate ways. There is going to be laughing. There are going to be weird noises. There are going to be, funny things that happen. It's okay for it to be fun.
Yes. Jesus, we too old to be falling off.
Listen,
wait,
it happens.
I got 4 more, so let me go. How many you got? Because people are.
Oh, I just wanted to talk about, just to segue into this, just getting back, reigniting passion, reigniting excitement, putting excitement back into a relationship.
Talk about that last week.
No, I want to know steps. I want to know steps and practical ways to bring novelty back to like relationships. I know games, I got that. Like games.
Yeah.
But I just need to know like something else you would actually give.
Something else that I have given as a suggestion is to take penetrative sex off the table for a bit and putting yourselves in a situation where you have to be more creative about what you do physically with that person, or looking at what your day looks like as a whole, not just that very moment that you decided that you want to have sex. Because if you're looking at the day as a whole and you're realizing like, wow, I actually had a really breezy day today and my partner had a hellish stressful day, it's probably not far-fetched that they're not going to want to have sex. Like, and the reason why they don't want to have sex is not because of you. So being able to look at something beyond, okay, penetrative sex, or okay, this is what we usually do. Do stuff that you don't usually do.
Okay.
Or do stuff that y'all used to like to do. Like if you used to like when your partner would like smack you on the butt when they would walk by, let's bring that back. Let's run that back and start doing that some more. Or if we're doing massages, like, oh, I don't like massages because it's just a shortcut to you trying to have sex. Okay, well, then let's take sex off the table and it's just actually a massage.
Okay.
And go from there. So I would encourage you to do the other things that you used to say were a waste of time because you just want to get to it.
Right.
Let's bring back the waste of time. Let's waste some time together.
I'm glad you said that, because one of the questions for the over 50 crew, are you seeing that nap dates are more of a thing?
Nap dates?
Nap dates, yes.
Would love a good nap date.
Yes.
Well, because when people say nap dates, I think cuddle. And so that's where my mind goes. Now, for some people, it might just be, look, like we're actually laying side by side. There's a big space between us because I legit just want to take a nap. Don't touch me. But I like the proximity, which is why I want you to be there.
Right.
Okay.
That is totally fine. But yeah, why not? I guess my big thing is if it works for you and you like it, then do it. It doesn't have to be something that other people are doing or other people are okay with. Like I could not care less what other people are doing in their bedroom. That impacts mine. It does not impact mine.
Okay.
This is what I do. This is what y'all do. It works for you. This works for me. Beautiful. So if you want to have a nap date, great. If you want to have a cuddle and let's watch TV and then you go on about your business and so do I, that's great. Do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
One more. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I'm responding to someone who was asking about the nap date. Okay.
You know there are professional cuddlers out there?
Yes.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. There are people paid to do that. I need to get look into some part-time. Someone here said, if your significant other wants to invite someone to the bed, does it mean that they are not satisfied with you?
That's a much longer answer. My short answer would be possibly, maybe. I'm not sure. I would definitely need more information. Because inviting somebody in is also another very complicated thing. Are they being invited in for the 3 of us to enjoy together, for 2 of us to enjoy and 1 person to watch, for 2 people to be together, not with the 3rd person there, but they know it and that other person is able to pursue as well? Like there's a lot of different configurations and rules and standards that need to be discussed before anybody even thinks about pulling another person in. I think sometimes people think that open relationships or poly relationships or, what have you, are just these really casual, like we just decided one day to let somebody come in and we're doing it. There's so much prep and so much conversation that happens before that, or at least there should be, that by the time you do it, the hope is that everybody is on the same page and everybody knows what's going to happen, when, where, and why.
Gotcha.
Those it's not as sexy as people think it is.
Yeah, I was about to say those situations all seem to.
I think I'm starting to think otherwise.
I've had a few thruples in my practice before, and it is a lot about navigating communications and feelings and being transparent and all that kind of stuff. It is not just like, ooh, we're just having so much sex and it's amazing. It can be, but you have to do the work on the front end to get there. You don't just trip and fall into that. Just like you don't trip and fall into a successful monogamous relationship. There's a lot of work that goes into that.
Right. Okay, next question. Is it ever okay to share past sexual experiences with your current partner if they ask, or if it just comes up? Or should you steer clear of that? Will it cause issues down the line, or will it actually help somehow?
It cause issues.
I'm gonna be like a broken record. It depends on the people, and it depends on if they're asking because they want to know, or are they asking because they're a very jealous person and feel like it would be better if I just knew. It's right up there with people who ask about body count. Personally, I don't think body count matters. It doesn't matter, because no matter what number I tell you, there's no way for you to know if I'm telling the truth.
That's true.
There's absolutely no way for you to know, yes, that is the body count, because it doesn't matter. You can be an amazing lover and have only had sex with one person. You can be absolute trash and be, community peen. Right. There is no connection to anything. So when we're talking about what happened previous, if you feel like it would be helpful to know that, and y'all have talked about it, sure, why not? But there is a possibility you're asking about past because you're insecure about the present. Just be together. Just be with that person. If you're wondering if there's stuff sexually that they like to do and you want to get a little bit more descriptive, yeah, you can ask them. You can say, well, when you did this before.
What if you're trying to find out if the person was community whatever, male or female, right? So is that something that you should want to know? Like, oh, you were with 300 people before. Maybe I may not want to do this. Or
and ask yourself that question. Would it matter to me if I ask my next partner, if I ask them how many people they had sex with, is there a number that I have in mind that I would be okay with versus not?
Right.
Because,
is there a number?
I had to put my glasses on
because listen, if that person says 1 or 2 and they are 55, then you want to be like, oh, you don't have a lot of experience. Like for a man, it might be something like, oh, she don't have a lot of experience. But for a woman, it's like, oh, you don't have a lot of experience.
But not being experienced is not always great either.
And that is also subjective. Just because somebody has had sex with 10 people doesn't mean that they've had more sex than somebody who's had sex with one person.
Right.
Because if I've had sex with one person and that's the only person I've been with, but we getting it in multiple times a week, versus let's say you had 10 one-night stands. Okay. That doesn't mean you had more sex than me. That doesn't mean that your sex was better. It doesn't mean that you are a better communicator when it comes to sex. It just means that you had sex with 10 people and I had sex with one person.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you help couples with mismatched libido levels?
Oh, that's a good one. That's one.
Yeah.
These questions. These questions are coming in on my phone literally as we speak.
That one can be kind of tricky, because if somebody really wants to have sex with their partner and that person's not available, that can be really frustrating for both people. It can be frustrating for the one who wants to have sex, and it can be frustrating for the one who doesn't. And we get a lot of people who are at a different level of libido for a variety of reasons. The most common that I see is because of pregnancy and childbirth, or because of fertility treatments or things like that. But sometimes it's not something that's concrete that you can point to that is definitely temporary. Sometimes it's just, I'm just not really in a very sexual phase in my life. And I'm trying to navigate. I'm trying to figure it out. I would say that talking about it is going to be your best bet. I would say that making a plan for how you want to handle it. Like, I don't think you can be the one who has maybe a lower libido and talking to your partner who has a higher libido and also saying, and masturbation can't be on the table for you, or this can't be on the table for you. You can't do this, you can't do that. And it's like, well, you're also limiting my availability of having my sexual needs being met.
Yeah.
And that might turn into a longer term problem that they might not be able to work through.
So I'm glad you said that, because that was my question. I know we only got you for a couple minutes, but how, stress, trauma, and mental health affect your sexual well-being? Do you know of any techniques to reconnect with your body and pleasure? There's a lot of times when you are depressed, right? And there's a lot of times when you have anxiety, and there's a lot of times when just things go on and it just doesn't. And I mean, I said this before the show, but it just doesn't connect. Are there any techniques that you can give, whether it be a male or a female, or woman or man, I'm sorry, in regards to, how we align, we kind of get that back, because I know a lot of times, I'll speak for myself, like everything has to align mentally with me in order for me to feel like, I want to partake, or I want to do something. And some of it is not good because that other person is not feeling the way you're feeling. And that is all about pleasing your partner and doing whatever for your partner. But just, I don't know, techniques.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to reach back there, but I'm sure back there I have a couple of books on Sensate Focus, which is about getting in touch with physical touch, whether it's physical touch with yourself or with your partner. And really, it's about slowing things down, kind of similar to what I said before about taking penetrative sex off the table and doing other things. And so being able to connect with your partner in other ways that don't necessarily include the parts of their body that are unavailable for whatever reason.
So back to a level of intimacy versus versus the sex of it, and maybe that will bring back some type of emotion or feeling, or bring up. I should say.
Well, and also putting into context what this is about, because I think that what the fear ends up being is that my partner's no longer attracted to me, which is a different issue, but is something that happens. Or my partner doesn't want me anymore. They're not interested in me anymore. And it's like more me focused. And so what it tends to happen is like, okay, well, I need to start doing things that will make me more appealing to my partner. So unbeknownst to my partner, I'm going to do all of these things and they're still not responding. And so now resentment is building. So now I'm pissed because I did all this work by myself and nothing has changed. Like, well, y'all haven't talked about this together. You're assuming to know what it's about. And you're trying to make these changes so that you don't have to talk about it. And you just fix it without talking about it.
Thank you for that.
You're not going to fix anything without talking about it.
Right.
There's no shortcut to
you
talking about things with your partner.
You can't skip that process.
No. Absolutely not.
Okay. The next question is, how significant is sexual imprinting how significant is sexual imprinting in women from men? So how significant is it with men versus women, or women versus men?
Sexual imprinting.
Yes.
Huh.
What does that mean?
That was going to be my question, because the only imprinting that I'm familiar with is somewhere in the Twilight book, where there's this otherworldly connection that happens with this person that's inexplicable, and that is my tie to you. Or I don't know if they're talking about soul ties, where, when I'm sharing my body with you, that I'm sharing so much more, and there's this connection that's invisible.
The person that said this, are you talking about sexual imprinting like boys who choose women that look like their mothers, or girls who choose mates that look like their dads or act like their dads,
right?
Or like, is that what you're talking about, or are you talking about?
When I look it up, sexual imprinting is a phenomenon in which early childhood experiences influence an individual's later sexual preferences.
Okay,
it occurs when it says it occurs when a young animal or child learns to associate certain characteristics with desirable mates.
Yeah. So it's like, well, I want a woman.
I don't know. I'm just saying, I don't know.
It's like, I want a woman that looks like my mom, or I want a man that looks like my dad, or acts like, or reminds me of, or has similar characteristics of. So, so is the question, I think
So they have their preference is in potential mates is something that I guess they had in their past or resembles something close to. Yeah.
So if that's the question, you're trying to say how significant is it in women and how significant is it in men? Like, I guess, is it more for women or is it more for men that do that? I guess.
I'm not familiar with that enough to give an answer. I couldn't say. I couldn't say whether men or women are more likely to engage in that. I also don't know if that, at least in my mind, is a foregone conclusion that because I have this tie or I have this tie to this particular type of person, that's who I'm always going to be pursuing to try to be with in the back of my mind. I don't know.
Because
I also know it can be very different when you come across somebody that you didn't think that would be somebody you would connect with, and y'all connect in so many different ways you had no idea about. So, yeah.
And then you got to take into consideration that some things are biology, right? And then some things are learned behaviors. So it's not always like maybe, like you said, in the back of your head, maybe you don't even know you choosing this type of it's just your preference is what you like.
Well, I guess that's what the imprinting thing. You're saying you may be thinking it's your preference, but it could be more programming than preference.
Got you.
Maybe,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that one. I don't think I have an opinion one way or the other on that one.
Yeah, I just watched. What was it on Netflix? Monster. What was the story with the serial killer? What was his name? The one that was wearing his mother's skin.
Dahmer?
No. Dahmer wasn't wearing his mother's skin. He was eating people.
Anyway,
the one that was wearing his mother's skin,
that's
right?
the one I know.
Oh my!
It was the overly dominant woman figure is what his mother was. And so he never really truly developed because, his mother was so overbearing and all the things. So by the time she died and he started killing people, the kind of woman that, he actually fell in love with was like his mother. It was, the type of woman that was just like his mother was what he actually liked. And he didn't kill her because she reminded him of mom. He was in love with her. So I guess maybe that's probably
like
a thing.
That thing where I don't know, but I think that any type of preference is a big thing. I think that's one. I think as a child, maybe there are some impressionable moments where you start developing like who you like, who versus who you don't like, what your preferences are, who you fall in love with or whatever. Now, like you have a type. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying you have a type. Everybody look the same.
They do not.
They do.
They do not.
But
they do not. But no, don't let me start naming names because this one don't look like that one, and that one don't look like this one.
So listen. So I think
they just all been in the gym except for one, Janelle. That's all. Well, all she's saying. I like a healthier, fit man, right? So when they say they all look alike, they do not all look alike. Some are tall, some are short, some are light, some are dark. But the one common thread is they are all healthy and in shape, except for that last thing I was with. I don't know what I was thinking, but that's everybody. I was trying. Everybody said don't go with your type because your type might be it, and so I was trying something.
It was the COVID.
And COVID kept us together, right?
It was COVID.
Anyway, but everybody else is just healthy and shape. But go ahead.
No, but I don't think that's like, to me, I just don't think this. I think it's preference. I think it's, how you grow up and what you see, like versus, you know what I mean? Like what you see. And sometimes what you see as, it's crazy because it's twofold. Sometimes what you see, which is healthy, you choose. And then sometimes what you see, which is unhealthy, which is volatile or whatever, you see. Some people fall in love with that type of person as well.
Oh, we gotta go. It's 7:55. 7:56. Listen, Janelle. Again, it's still Sextober. We're going to see if you're available to come back next week because obviously we have to continue on. But in the meantime, any thoughts to take us away tonight before you got to?
Yeah, I would say in connection with this last little bit, I would say. I'm going to encourage people to really look at why it is they do what they do. And it's okay to to reassess and question whether or not what you do still serves you,
Mm-hmm.
or if it doesn't. Because if it doesn't, then let's work on shifting it up and changing it. And if it does work, at least you know what you're doing is an awake and intentional decision instead of, well, this is just what I've always done, or this is just what I've always liked. It's always okay for you to take a look and make sure that that's actually what you want instead of what you've been conditioned to or have just fallen into the habit of what you're doing.
All right.
I like that. Okay.
I love that.
Yeah.
Listen, we know you gotta go. We're gonna let you go. We're gonna continue on. But thank you so much. If you are available next week, we would love to have you back to finish out Sextober. So we'll
Love
talk
it.
behind the scenes, and you gotta go. You got money to make and businesses and all that stuff. So we're gonna talk to
Thank
you
you
soon.
so
Thank
much.
you so much.
Thank
All right.
you.
Bye, you all.
Okay, listen, everybody. All right. So Janelle had to go. She has to work. She has literally clients now because, in LA, it's only whatever o'clock. So she had to go. But we had a lot of questions that came in today. Okay, so he was saying correct. A man gives a woman mind-blowing sex, and now she can't get past it when she engages with another man. So that's what you're saying. Sexual imprinting is in your definition. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Is that you're asking? Is that a thing? Because if it is, I'm.
That's a good question. That's a good.
Because if that's really a thing, then all right, okay, sis. And there were more questions that came in as well. I'm sorry we didn't get a chance to ask all of them because, like I said, she had clients that she had to get to tonight. So I'm hoping this helps, right? So when we started talking about this, it was because we had started talking about this use it or lose it factor.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really and truly hoping that this is helping some people because, as we said on that particular show and how this came up, we started talking about.
What'd she say?
Huh? What'd you say, Jeff? Me? Oh, I don't know. Okay. So we started talking about how you should use it or lose it. So that's how all of this started in the first place, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so since then, there have been so many people I've been talking to that have watched that show and our show last week. And so people have been asking questions because we know, when you are close to a half a century or beyond half a century, right? Like your body changes.
It does.
Your body changes. Like science, everything changes your body. And because it changes your body, we now have questions again. Like it is a new puberty.
It is.
Yeah,
though.
it's a new puberty. There are so many things that you have to relearn, and you can't keep operating off old information that your body can just still do this or you can just still do that, or because that's not always gonna be the case for everybody. Things change and you have to learn. So that's why we brought the sex therapist on to ask those questions. And so again, hopefully we have Janelle Watson back next week. If we don't, then we will have another therapist that's definitely going to come on.
I'm just thinking about Yusuf's question. That is a good question.
Mm-hmm.
That is he said, man gives women mind-blowing sex and now she can't get past it.
Or vice versa.
Or vice versa. That is a good question. I think that we should delve into that topic a little bit more now that you've explained it a little bit more. I hope that never happens to anyone,
Yeah.
Because what does that mean? Like, are you stuck? Are you stuck?
Are you looking for that person and
Inside
everybody
of,
else?
And everybody else.
Everybody
yeah.
else that you're with? I hope not.
Yeah. That's wild.
I hope not.
I hope not either. I hope that, the person is able to move on.
Yeah, I hope the person's able to move on
Because
too.
you can't be stuck now.
No, you can't.
Mm-mm.
No.
You can't be stuck
Can't
now.
do
You
that
gotta
one.
go with the
Keep
relationship you're
going.
in.
Yeah, you gotta
Don't be
keep
calling
going.
nobody else's name during
No,
sex.
no, you can't do
I
that.
don't want you choked out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Nobody.
Nobody.
But okay. Yeah. So anyway, yes, we are definitely going to continue on with Sextober because we are trying to get all the information because.
Do you think body count matters? Would body count matter to you?
I don't necessarily want to be with a man that's had. I haven't put a number on it, but
yeah, because like, how do you put a number on it?
Yeah, I haven't put a number on it.
What is lived versus community?
Right. Well, I could give you an example of community, but not on air. But
I'm just saying, what? How do you gauge?
How do you differentiate
what do
between
you
the two?
say? And like the therapist said, my thing is, I'm gonna actually read some more.
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Ron. So I want to know. I want to know how.
What? Like what? Ask the question.
Because my thing is, no, seriously, like, how do you say, oh, this person just had this many partners and I'm okay with that? But if they had one more,
right?
Look, 51. You know.
So I don't
can't
think
do. I just can't do. Like
I don't think it's a one by one. I think it's a range. Like you got to go in ranges.
If I am.
So
and
like
if I'm
if
in
they've
my
been
50s
with 0
and I've
to
been
10.
with, wait, if I'm in my 50s and I've been with 40 people. And that what's the average in that?
I don't know.
Okay.
Look, sis, I don't know. You said 40 and I was like, but that's
is
me.
40
though.
a lot?
I don't think yeah.
And then is
It
40
is
a
for
lot
me.
for a man and for a woman? Is 40 a lot?
40 would
Society
be
would say.
Of course. No. There's a
What
double
would society say?
No, there's a double standard. 40 would be a lot for me personally, not for me. I'm just
But how
speaking
would you-
for me.
oh,
but how would I know how many my partner has been? I don't know. See, I don't know.
Because you only know what your
40. But you got to think
you
about
only
it like
know
that.
what your partner tell you. And what if,
but
what if they forgot?
I feel like your average man out here, 40 ain't nothing by the time they're 50.
That's what my point is.
40
and
ain't
is
nothing.
40 a lot for
by the time they are 50. Now for me, no. But like you said, it's a double standard anyway. It's a double standard. So
you know,
40.
No,
Jesus.
because some like if and my thing is that if you ask,
you counting fingers, toes, lashes, teeth, eyebrow hair.
Hey, people have lived, Chanel.
I know, and I'm not judging
We can't
anybody.
judge
No, I'm not
anybody.
judging anybody.
What somebody chose to do
Uh-uh.
besides close
I'm
door.
not
If they're
judging
adding
anybody.
to society, not taking away. If they're adding to society. Who are we to judge?
No, who are we?
we?
Who are we?
We're not.
to
We
judge?
can't judge
no,
that.
No. I'm not
No.
judging. I'm not judging.
No,
I'm not
40,
judging. Listen, I'm not
50,
judging. I'm just
60.
saying.
Okay.
That's why I said for the average man that's
If
close
by
to 50,
70, I have had 50 partners. Is that a lot?
for you personally,
Yeah. Would you judge me, Chanel?
I'm not going to judge anybody for anything. I'm not. You know me. You know I'm probably the least judgmental person ever. So I'm not judging anybody for anything. I just don't. You know what? If given the right
Did you ever
circumstances,
see-
whoever knows, it is what it is.
Shout out to
be
my
honest
brother
with you.
because we love this show called The Breakup.
Yes.
And in The Breakup, she goes, oh, my sister's been through a lot. And he goes,
said, yeah,
a
dude.
lot of
dick.
I think
Yeah,
that
I
is the
saw
most
that. Yeah.
funniest thing because what is he doing? He's judging her.
Of course he is.
And how she decides to
Well, she judged
live
him
her life.
because he only got 6 lemons and not, But anyway, that movie
I'm
is
just
funny.
saying, what exactly do we do, Chanel? What do we do?
I don't know. What we do is we make sure you guys come back next week.
Yes.
Because we are still in the midst of Sextober, and so we have one more week to talk to the sex
One
therapist
more
about
week.
how our bodies have changed, how relationships change, and how dating has changed as we have gotten older. And we need to talk about it, and we need to talk through it to make sure that everybody has a healthy state of mind in whatever it is you're doing. If you're married, if you're dating, if you're single, if you don't want to do any of those things, whatever it is, we just want to make sure that we are doing all of that, and it's good for you. No one is suffering in any way, shape, or form because we are reaching a certain age. So To everybody that had a question, whether you were texting me, it was in the DMs, it was in the chat, wherever the question was, thank you so much. If I didn't get a chance to ask it today, we will be doing this again next week.
Yes.
So, yeah, we'll be back next week, same time, same place, different show, new questions, and hopefully you'll have some and we can get those answered for you. Anything from you?
That's it. I'm good. Ready to talk next week. She of course she's always dropping gems and giving food for thought, which was great, which was what we need to take away.
Yep.
So,
all right. So thank you, everybody. See you all next week.
Love y'all.
Love y'all. Bye-bye.